So what are your guys' thoughts about how can we better serve veterans? What are some ideas that you might have or that you encounter experience?
Well, one thing that the VA got going this month is they have the awareness and the prevention for sexual assault for people who are in the service. So they got an awareness group going for that this month, and for the survivors of it, of sexual assault during the time that they was in the service. That's one thing that's going on this month, and they got the month for military child uh, designated as the month of the military child, underscoring the important role of military children play in the armed forces community. So they got that going, and it was established in 1986 by Casper Weinberg, a defense secretary. Since then, April has been considered as Military Kids Month. So we do have that going on for the vets, and we'd like everyone to celebrate that. And they got things for veterans who want to claim, put a claim in and find out what their status is with the PAC Act, the toxic substance, the Agent Orange radiation, and all of that. And they got information on that for the veterans. And plus, on top of that, they're helping veterans, all veterans really, with the substance abuse. You know, we got that going on, and the different programs at the VA, and for substance abuse for veterans. They got housing and try to get everything established for them to have housing there, somewhere to go, the ones who are homeless and everything, for them to go there and have somewhere to stay. New Directions is one of the programs that they had. That program, I went through that program for a year and a half at New Directions, and it's a good program. And they got other programs that they have there that's good to try to help the veterans, especially if they want to change. They need change in their life. That's the place to go. Things has changed now so much for veterans, where it used to be like they didn't give a damn, you know, especially for the Vietnam veteran. You know, we came back, and for your benefits and anything else wasn't considered, and you trying to get benefits and nothing. You know, they just shuffle you around with the paperwork, and that was that. And finally, you know, they're stepping up to the plate now. And when they had President Obama, he really stepped in and did a lot to help the veterans get compensated and stuff. That was a great thing. And also, they got a art workshop going for the veterans, and they're honoring survivors of the military sexual trauma. And they got a lot of stuff going on there. And this particular one is in Chatsworth and VA Center on Devon Shore out there in the valley. So that's about it. Oh, and we got a barbecue coming up at the VA. And they always had that barbecue. This is every year. They have this every year. And it's April 22nd. Begins at 8 o'clock. And it's in Newport Beach. Yeah.
April 22nd? That means that we missed it.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Oh.
Missed that one.
Oh.
They had bike riding and all of that. Yeah. So, you know, and at the Bob Hope Patriotic Hall,
yes.
They got something going down there from 6 to 9 for the veterans Thursday, which is the 27th. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. So thank you, Leon. Thank you. Earlier, I like, I want to piggyback on what you said about people that, especially people who serve, in the war, like, in the past, war, like Vietnam, they come back, they suffer from like they traumatized, and there's not much services in comparison to now, like recent years that people start making recognition about mental health, like hey, this is serious, and it's not just like what can we do to help the veterans, they serve our country. And take me for example, I am earlier I did not really go into too much about myself. The reason why share got me to to be in this in this roundtable also because I also was once upon a time served in the military in the Marine Corps. However, I did not receive an honorable discharge, and that I'm something that is like I was young, and so it's not it's been it still is like shame, guilty, just everything, and I wanted to like um I really wanted to kind of let people know, not every people that who serve in the military, you know, would able to receive or able to get all the benefits, because if they have a different discharge, if they don't have, from what I know, from what I remember, if you don't receive an honorable discharge, admin discharge, you know, or maybe even other than honorable, they probably don't receive get a lot of benefits. And so they need to seek elsewhere. And like you said, people that who serve the country, I mean, they thought, I mean, I know we make mistakes. I made mistakes, and I'm blessed. I'm one of those blessed person. I'm one of those luckiest person that, I received so many second chances, and share by working at share is one of mine. And so I'm able to, of course, once again, I couldn't do this alone. So I have to credit, my support system, people that who support me in my recovery, help me to pick, to help me to pick me back up, help me to show me, hey, I just really need to dust myself off and just keep, put one foot over another, hands over hand. And so besides, like people like me, when I'm not, when I won't able to get, those veterans benefits, there's elsewhere, there's other resources, So do you guys have any other information, any more like, like stories, experience that you guys can share too, so then,
Yeah, I had that experience. I had that experience when I came back home. I had that experience by trying to see about getting my benefits, although I had an honorable discharge, and I came back and I tried to get benefits and I couldn't get benefits at that time. I didn't know any kind of way of knowing how to get the benefits. I had no one on my team to help me or to guide me in that right direction in order to do that. Finally, uh, by me being in the program, I went to see this psychiatrist, and I went to see him, and I knew the lady who was in charge of the psych department, and she knew me from me working at the VA because I started to work at the VA in 1983. And when I walked in there, she said, "Oh, hello, Mr. Peterson. How are you?" So I got to talking to her and explaining to her that I needed trying to see about getting my benefits and everything. And she said, "We're going to help you." And so she turned around, she introduced me to this psychiatrist. And when I talked to him and they had my medical records, I had to wait on my medical records to come and show up. And then when I did get to talk to him beforehand, he was talking to me, finding out how I felt about everything. What was my feelings about me not getting my benefits? What were my feelings about coming back and the way I was being treated as a Vietnam veteran? You know, because it was kind of difficult to accept because then no one cared. No one cared. I had a story like I went for a job and I knew the trade. So the guy took me out on the floor to see could I run the machine. He see that I could run the machine, came back, and he said, well, I see that you're a military veteran. I said, yes, I am. He said, well, what did you do in Vietnam? That was kind of stunning. And I told him, I said, well, I was in infantry, you know. I said, I was 11B10 Bravo. He said, what is that? I said, that's infantry. And I said, I was in the field. And he said, well, what was your job being in the field? So with my anger kind of came up. I said I was a hired assassin. I was a hired killer. I told him that. You asked me, and I'm telling you I was in infantry. So that was my job, you know. So he looked at my application again. He said, well, you do qualify, but I don't think we have any openings for you. So that was a big setback for me as a veteran and trying to go to work and get a job.
Very discouraging, yes.
Yeah, that was a big setback, you know. So he said, we don't have any jobs like that here. I understand that, sir. But, you know, it was like really demeaning to me, you know. I felt bad about that, you know. So I had to tell my psych about that, you know, the experience that I had with that, you know. So it was a lot of trauma that I went through. And I'm pretty sure a lot of other veterans went through the same trauma, trying to get jobs, trying to get their life back, you know. But when you come back like from something like that, you cannot come back and just put your life on track. It's very difficult. You know, you have to go through so much, you know, in order to get your life back, you know, after what you went through. So it was kind of difficult for me, you know, but finally I adjust, but it took me quite a while to adjust, you know, back to society. It really did, you know, and I think that was the toughest thing that I could do. And I didn't have any help, no help. I had no kind of support system, you know, until I got to the VA to get into the program and everything, to get treated for my trauma, get treated for my drug addiction and all of that, you know, and in order to turn my life around. And it all worked out. My life got better. And I went back to work for the VA when I was out there. I retired from the VA, you know. So, you know, God is good. Yeah.
Amen to that. Yes. God is great.
And I got 17 years, 16 years clean now. I have 17 years May 5th.
Wow, congratulations, congratulations. Happy early birthday. Happy early birthday.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, so I'm steady on this road traveling.
Thank you for sharing, Leon. Thank you, thank you. Such a huge milestone. So I see that like we have like I said, I'm from the like I served in the Marine Corps. You know, we have people serving the Navy, we have people serving the Army. And do we have anyone from the Air Force, Coast Guard? So what about you, Terry? You know, I know that earlier you were saying you're married to one. Do you want to talk about a little bit anything interesting, you know, exciting happened, you know? Like what is your view on marrying a military personnel?
My view on marriage is that it's a partnership. I get to support my husband. Leon is my husband. I get to support him through. He's 16 years clean and sober. I'm 15 years clean and sober. And
congratulations, congratulations.
Yeah, the first part of our marriage, we were in our addiction. And he came back for me. He went and got sober and he came back. A year later, he came back. And he had made arrangements for me to go into the women's program in New Directions. And we've been sober ever since. It's a partnership. Thank God my husband doesn't hasn't had any flashbacks from his military era. And like I said in the chat, support is key. We all need support. I have some women in my life that suffer from MST. And that's a hard avenue for women because 9 times out of 10, their abusers were their subordinates, were their sergeants and captains, and rough deal. But support, see, supporting them through, huge. Sometimes all they need is an ear, just somebody to listen and to hear them out, or even to support them through going to talk to their psych or talk to the powers that be so that they can open up a claim to get it started. Even the dishonorable discharges. You know, there's I don't know the right wording, but you can go back and resubmit. So it's not like it's detrimental. You can go back and resubmit for an honorable discharge today, depending on where and how and the circumstances of your dishonorable, you still can become honorable today. So it's not a life sentence. And if you don't know that, I guess that's what this forum is for. Thank you, God. But there's still avenues for people to reach out and to get services, even with a dishonorable. So it's not bad, but support. I worked for New Directions. You know, I went through the program and then I ended up working for them. I worked for them for 7 years. It's a good job. I love that place. It gave me a foundation. It let me know that I'm worthy to do and to advocate. So I'm an advocate today. You know, I work for the Department of Health Services out of the Linwood Jail for women. So I advocate, and I have a couple of veteran women on my client list, and I support them through. You know, there's consequences to their actions, but we support each other through. We talk about things, we cry, we laugh. Sometimes all I have to do is just listen to them, and they appreciate that. But I get to support my husband. He's a good dude, you know. He's a little goofy at times, but you know, he's a good dude. I appreciate it.
Sense of humor. It's good to have a sense of humor.
Right. Yeah, it is.
Thank you, Terry. Thank you. Yes, same thing. I also seek, you know, professional help, psychiatrists and therapists. Right. And it's also important. I'm also a recovered alcoholic myself. So familiar. I'm very familiar, like, you know, the 12-step program. And there is other groups that is not, you know, substance abuse, not related. It's just behavior, just mental health. For example, Recovery International helps my anxiety. Yeah. You know, and reduce my anxiety, my stress level. And what I love about Recovery International is self-endorsement. Right. Because a lot of times we're so harsh. I'm so harsh on myself. I forgot. Hey, great job. Good job. I made it to work. You know, like, you know, but literally this morning, I'm like, man, I don't want to freaking do my freaking work conference all day. Right. I'm like, let me call you sick. Or no, I cannot. Well, can I work at home? Like literally when I woke up, from the moment I woke up, like all this freaking my addiction, like my addict mind's like, okay, what is the easier way out? You know, at the same token, I'm moving, I'm getting dressed, but in my head, right. Okay, what can I do? What can I say? What kind of excuse do I have? I'm just like, I know I'm right.
Yeah, and doing it. Thank you.
You're supposed to be.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Good job. Yeah.
So the next question is that what should peer serving veterans keep in mind? Like Like, do you have any thoughts about that one?
Keep in mind that they're human. Just because they serve our country and are going through whatever mishap, that they're human. You got to humanize it for them. Appreciate them for their service, but humanize it, you know, not just a number, not just an article, just one person talking to another person.
Be kind, really humanity, be kind.
Yeah.
So I'm typing in the question, like, you know, so then people can, you know, maybe spell check, can share.
Right.
Yes, we are families, you know, unique, and then we also are unique individuals in our own way. Most definitely, very true. Yes.
And is this open for discussion for anybody? I'm sorry, I just popped in. I was a little late.
No worries. Yes, this is like a roundtable. Like people like can talk about their experience, tell a little bit about, you know, your work, you know, like if you're in the military, you know, you serve, like anything, you know, or you have any relationship, you know, just tell a little bit about yourself. Share a little bit.
Okay. So my name is Guadalupe, and I am an Army veteran. I served in the Army National Guard for 8 years and left due to MST. And when I left, I had a hard time transitioning back in. I was very lucky to have my boyfriend to help me through the process of feeling protected. But that's been my main struggle, is feeling safe in my environment, back in specifically in the workplace. So because of that, for some years now, I started a group called Lady Veterans Project, and it's been in the works. When it first started, I had this big idea of really doing a fight for cannabis versus pharmaceutical prescriptions. And it started really, really well until I started noticing it's like leading veterans to the water and kind of not having anything for them, because everybody was so into the cannabis portion that the recovery portion started kind of slipping out. So I wasn't okay with that. I didn't like that the fact that it became more about mainstream and getting popular and stuff like that. So I kind of pulled the horses on that one, and just took some time for myself and started doing it differently. So now my point is not the medicine. My point is mental health and getting specifically women veterans out into the community again. And how I'm doing that is I create events for lady veterans in particular once a month. And this month it's the Princess Mud Run, the Muddy Princess Run in Temecula, which is for women only. And I was able to get a sponsor to pay for VIP tickets for 5 of us to be able to do our thing, be able to get out there, not just be active, but the whole point is connecting with other women veterans. Peer support, that's kind of like the biggest thing. My first time I got certified as a peer support specialist was through SHARE back in 2014. And I loved it back then. I really loved the fact that I could use my experience back then as my parents, my mom being neurotic, my dad being alcoholic, all the dysfunctional family stuff, that I found it really useful. And then I joined, came back, and now I realize veterans have their peer support now. And that in itself just blew my mind, because now I see how we could use it to really benefit the veteran community. So my vision with it is to create peer support specialist group that we could go back by women veterans, that we can go back into active duty and do the big sister, little sister, what is it called? Support. because when you're inside, as you guys know, we can't really speak up because we're in a small unit, or we're in a unit where whenever we bring something up, we either get hushed or just moved away. So we kind of we're taught to be silent about it. So what I would like to do is create a big sister, which means a veteran, a female that's already been out of the military, and certified peer support specialist who could go back and not only teach this girl, but really get under the wing and get her connected with mental health services outside of the military, get her connected with support groups for women veterans, get her connected with all these benefits that she can use while still serving. So the chances of her staying in and helping other women veterans are higher than just getting out and shutting out. That's kind of where my heart is. And that's, I'm working on that right now. But back on the question on what can peer support, what was the question for it?
All right. What should peer serving veterans keep in mind?
So what I thought immediately with that, and that's kind of why I love doing what I do, is we really need empathy among veterans. And as females, that's one thing we do have. And I feel that's something that I've encountered, the lack of empathy. If you're a combat veteran, you kind of see, you kind of forget that, not forget, but you minimize the non-combat veterans, and becomes kind of a wedge where now you feel like you're not really part of the family and stuff like that. So what I really want to also encourage other peer support specialists that are working with veterans is always remember where you started. Never forget where you started, where you weren't talking to anybody, how nervous you would be to even ask for help. Because sometimes when we've already been on that level, it's hard for us to kind of get back. And that service that we give when we feel like we're on our high horse is honestly a disservice for our veterans, because we're not letting them be comfortable enough to ask. So that's my biggest experience that I've learned myself, and through my experience, and also just learning how veterans feel when they're asking for help is usually because they're very vulnerable. And when we kind of have our walls up, we make the veteran want to have their walls up. So as peer support specialists, I always remember to have empathy first, never forget where I started, and to make it comfortable enough for them to be able to ask for help. It's not a competition. It's not our time to kind of, well, I did this, I did that. That's not what peer support's about. But yeah, I did a lot of talking, so I'm sorry guys. But yeah, again, it's Lady Veterans Project, and on Instagram I have a page where I do live interviews every Thursday at 10, and I bring in different resources, and my whole point is just getting the community involved. And I love you guys for doing this, because this is awesome too. So thank you.
Thank you for sharing. Guadalupe, right? Thank you.
Yes.
Yay. Such an awesome work that you're doing, with we need all that we can, besides not just for veterans, and also to educate people that, that, like, take me for example, like earlier, like before you hop in, I was just sharing a little bit about myself. I do not have an honorable or even an honorable discharge. I serve in the military, in the Marine Corps, and that's, that doesn't mean that, that's my, doesn't mean that I've been like, that is my death sentences. I can always choose to go back and upgrade it. I just need to, find, my resource. I just need to, like, Terry, like, good information, and I just need to really footwork, just like my recovery. I just need to do the footwork, to get that little bit, because I am a totally different person now. I am a productive citizen, now. And also I have the support that I have. People that, been through, besides, like I said, besides the professional help, I have my peers, mental health, and it's just great. So it's like people just need to know, like I said, empathy, sympathy, be kind, be considerate, everything. We need more. I know that there's plenty out there. Like right now, right here in this room, I know there's much more out there. It's it's just saying it takes one to know another, and it's all starting from right here, from us right here, and then we're just gonna tag people, or people, hey, you know what, you see what you like, come get it. It's free.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, thank you, thank you. Anyone else have any other thoughts, on,
Hi there. My name is Dr. Kathy Cash, U.S.
Hi.
Army veteran, certified peer support specialist.
Hey,
I just recently retired from the VA as a certified peer in the HUD-VASH program. I'm kind of driving right now.
I was my car too, girl.
And so what I do, I'm listening to you all stories and they are true. Okay, hold on. They are true. And it is something that I have a passion for because that's what I continue to do. We just need to be, one of the things I look at is us needing to be heard, be listened to. Because we neglect to listen to each other. You doing this now? Yes. Excuse me a second, I'll be right back.
That's what I call multitasker right there. It's something that I don't have.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, one of the things I'm gonna just add real quick.
Okay, thank you.
It's Toastmasters, because I'm pretty sure she was just talking about using your voice, and that's exactly how I'm starting to find mine. Toastmasters has like this amazing just how to communicate better. Sorry, go ahead, girl.
Okay, I'm sorry. I had to park. I'm at the VA for an appointment, as a matter of fact. But as one thing in terms of being a peer for a veteran, we have to listen to our veterans listen to our fellow veterans because the system gives us all of these programs and they program us to death, but then we never get to talk about what's going on in our lives. We don't get to implement the tools that we learn how to use. So one of the things that I have found is that when I'm able to let another veteran, male or female, know that they're being heard, as I'm listening to them, they get to share their stories. I get to share my story, and they get to see that they're not the only one who's been through or is going through whatever it is that they're in the midst of. And then we're all sharing resources. Is it too loud? I'm trying to find a place where I can get.
No, okay. You're good.
We're just always trying to share resources with one another. And that's what helps because we don't know things. We come to the VA to get services. We only get sometimes half the information. So we count on another veteran to give us information. And so that's what we do. We continue to share our stories. We continue to share information such that we can all become whole. And one thing I do is I use a lot of recovery principles to support a fellow veteran to get from where they are to where they want to be. Because when we talk about wellness, what is it like to be well? So many women, when they come out of the military, they're coming out because of MST, PTSD, there are issues that they are dealing with, and then they don't know how to deal with them because when they go home, the people at home don't know how to deal with them, so they count on another veteran. So as a peer, we're able to have that conversation with them, and they're able to see that we have been where they've been. We know what they know. Not that my situation is the same as yours, but because as Clint Eastwood said in Heartbreak Ridge, because we chew some of the same dirt, we have that camaraderie, and we're able to provide that support to one another. So the biggest thing that I've seen is the listening, because when we go to our mental health appointments, our mental health appointments are 50 minutes. And when I know when I go to my mental health appointment, I don't really get into my stuff until about 40 minutes in. And then I'm open up, I'm ready, I'm trying to get some information, I'm trying to share, trying to get some help. And then I see that, okay, now we're at the end of our session, we'll have to talk again in 2 weeks. But I don't start the session with, this is the problem. It's, just revving up to it, because I'm not sitting in that stuff. But unfortunately, when I leave the appointment, I end up sitting in it. So finding a peer support to talk to, not for therapy, but just to feel heard. And I think that's one of the most important things that we need to feel like we're being heard and not being rushed. And one of the things that I used to do when I was employed as a peer, and I still do it now, when I talk to people, I let them talk until they're finished talking. I set aside the time. Because they'll say, I know you got to go. I don't have any place else to be. I'm here for you. So if you want to take 3 hours, I got 3 hours. You know, if you talk until you get it out of you. And that's what we need to give to one another. Because every time we meet, it's not going to be a 3-hour conversation. But sometimes we have stuff on us that we just need to get out. I'm not asking for advice. I'm not asking you to fix anything, because as peers, that's not what we're doing. We're not supposed to be fixers. But some peers try to be fixers. But as a true peer to a veteran, you're not a fixer. You are an example. You are a mentor. You are a role model. You are a listener, not a fixer. And when you ask the question, how can a peer support a veteran? By listening, first and foremost. Because if you're listening, then you find out where they are, and then you can meet them where they are. And then you can give them the support that they need where they are. So thank you for letting me share.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Great.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Cash. Appreciate you.
Oh, you're so welcome.
Yeah.
And you said you're working at New Directions?
I used to work for New Directions.
Oh,
they don't have the women's program anymore. I worked at the women's program for New Directions in Mar Vista. Yeah.
Okay. Do you know who runs? I thought New Directions ran the Oasis House on the VA campus. That's not them? Okay.
Yes, that's them. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I'm now with Department of Health Services, LA County. I work out of CRDF, the Linwood Jail. I met you at Rashida's birthday party.
Yes, 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 yes. I couldn't see you before because I was driving. So I had you on. But yes, okay. Now I can see you. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Hi.
Small world. You see how this come all together?
Yes.
The networking's already starting.
Exactly.
I love it.
Yeah, right.
So I do have to go because I have an appointment, but I saw that this was a round table. I wanted to jump in and meet people and see what it's about. Thank you all for your service. Know that there is hope. Right. My company is called Strategies for Hope. And that's exactly what I do, talk about how to give hope and implement hope into the lives of not only our veterans, but in the lives of everyone. My plug is I'm presenting at 4:30 today. I think this is the Hope Room.
It is.
So I'm presenting at 4:30 today on burnout, because that's one of the things that happens with peers. We get in there and so many things happen. People tell us to do another job. We try to fix stuff and we get burned out because we're not doing what we love to do, which is I want to be there to support.
Right.
So I'm gonna get a chance to support because I'm doing everybody else's job.
Right, right.
And then I get burned out because I'm doing everybody else's job. Let me do my job.
Yeah.
And I'll be all right.
Dr. Cash, you tell George Hill I said hello from Leon P.
All right. All right.
Awesome.
So you all have a wonderful day. If you can jump on at 4:30, I would love to see you. Because again, we're talking about burnout.
Right.
And ways to fix it, ways to avoid it.
I'm gonna sneak myself because I'm a host in a different room because of this round table. I'm gonna sneak out on that part. I'm like, hey, can someone cover for me? I need my 15-minute break.
Right.
All right. Well, so I'm out. Right. You all take care. Be blessed, and we'll talk soon.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
So yeah. So do we have anyone else have any more burning desire want to share? Want to talk? If not, pretty much, oh no, not yet. We started at 10:30. Oh, well, where did I go? I'm so sorry. See, never mind. Continue. We have to have it in a half an hour. Any?
I think this is a very good roundtable discussion. You know, we get to listen to other veterans and find out what's going on with them also, and how do they feel about things. Okay.
Is there anything that like you guys would want to, feel free, like if there's anything, about things that you might know, information that you think it might be helpful to other people, because I could write down, because I'm writing all of this notes down, so I want to pass it on. Because I share, we have so many different self-help support groups, and then we also have flyers up front, like information really just for people, resources for people. And so you guys are feel free, you guys can send me, like flyers too. I'm gonna put my email in the chat. So then you guys can send me email, and then I just print it out and then put it here. shareselfhelp.org. Yep. Because people can really benefit like a lot. Even though they're not in the military, but then they know somebody is, it's just word of mouth. And so then they know that they're not alone. If they don't want to come to this kind of groups, they're like, oh, okay, so different settings, different locations, different neighborhood. Oh, this was much closer to mine. Okay, cool. I don't have to go all the way to, Culver City. I don't have to travel all the way down to Lancaster, Palmdale, whatever. So it's all good, yeah. Yes, peer support is growing, Kathy. And right now, you see how we meet in Zoom? Of course, it would be so great, always in person, because I don't know about anyone, I only can speak for myself. I like to meet people in person. However, doing it in Zoom, it kind of eases my anxiety. Like when I see a person like in person, I'm very excited, and yet sometimes I would get a little overwhelmed and like too anxious. I speak like, I don't want to say like a machine gun, but then yeah, like a pinball. That's how she's really nervous. I was just like, and then but whoa, I'm sorry, what did you just say? So this is pretty cool, So thank you.
Oh, this is really awesome for Share to have even started this, because peer support it's fairly new, but it's been going so well already. And then just creating something for veteran peer support, and for Share to be the pioneer of it all, to have it now going, it's amazing. Like I love the fact that it's on Zoom, because for me it would be a almost 3-hour drive. So although I want to see everybody and hug everybody and be with everybody, it's a long drive for me. So this just makes it so much more convenient. It's awesome.
So how far is the drive? I'm sorry. I
am in Menifee right now, so it's like an almost 3-hour drive if I go with traffic. Without traffic, it'd be probably like closer to 2 hours.
Wow, that is far.
Yeah, trust me, I thought about applying to Share because I love Share, but the drive would just, it would drive me insane.
No, like Dr. Cash said, like everyone else saying, like we have, there's more peer support work now. And so, Share, we thank you. First of all, thank you. We are not the only one. We won't be the only one. There's many more, especially when not the peer specialist. We are also doing the certification here too.
Yeah.
And so it's really, we are broadening it. Like Kathy was saying, peer support work is growing. And in different area, it's starting somewhere.
Yeah, it's getting big in in the LA County. LA County is by far always going to be like teaching everybody else how to do it. And because so shares one, VPAN. I don't know if you guys have heard of VPAN. Is another one, Veterans Peer Access Network, but they're pretty much doing the same thing, and then everybody's getting trained through, there's a nonprofit. I don't know how everybody else got their certification for veteran peer support, but US Vets it's collaborating with Loyola Marymount, and they have a 6-month like free course for you to get your certification. But if you ask me, it doesn't compare to Share. Share does a very, very good job in really doing that empathy and resources, which is the support groups. Nobody else teaches about support groups the way that Share does. And I think that's a very good part for 2 reasons, because we're helping veterans that need those resources, but also we need those resources because we're not like my sister that just went ahead said, we're not perfect. We're still going through our stuff. And just because we're peer support doesn't mean we've made it. We're not therapists. We're not trying to fix anybody's problem. We're trying to guide them. So to me, Share just does an amazing job in teaching resources already that not only are useful for us, but also for the veterans that we're helping. So yeah, when I say I love the way Share teaches, it really, Share just puts stuff aside from different organizations that I've even been through. And I've always, every time I go through like 2 different schoolings that I went for my certification, I always go back and I always tell them, I was like, have you guys heard of Share? Because I think you guys need to learn a little bit from them, because it's like they're missing that they're missing the support group aspect that I've never seen any other organization use that as part of their training.
Thank you. Yes, very true. Like, because at Share, all the employees, including myself, have lived-in experience. You know, like I said, I'm dual diagnosed. I'm a recovered alcoholic, and also I'm a mental health consumer. And it doesn't mean that, you know, like working here, that's all the staff, they have to, certain, like some of us, we only have mental health. Some people only, you know, like maybe just, you know, substance abuse. Regardless, you know, we have to have at least 1 year in self-help support groups experience, and also got to be a living experience ourselves. Either it's directly, you know, or within the family. And that's how we really can show people, demonstrate, role model, hey, you know what? It really work if you really want it. You know, I can do it, you can do it. It's not just say, you know, it's really, it's here. You know, there is hope. There is. It might not seem like it right now in the moment. And if you could just step back, just keep coming back into these rooms, you know, if you don't feel like you wanted to talk, at least you're not alone. Spiritually, physically, you're not alone. Okay, right here, there's people right here, you know, and so that's just a lot, just knowing that. So yeah, we here, you know, we have all these different trainings, you know, like this training not only helped me for work, it also helped me to repair the relationship I have with my mom. I damage it. I freaking, my credit is like bankrupt. I don't know if there's another word worse than bankrupt, you know, that's where I was with my mom. And it's not now. And so is there anyone else anything else wanted to talk about? If not, you know, thank you, Kathy. And so, but if there's nothing else, shall we just adjourn this roundtable? How, you know, and How do you guys want to do it? Or just hang out until 11:30?
I was a little late. Did I kind of heard in the beginning someone talk about getting, if you have a dishonorable or other than honorable, you can get it changed. Can I get some information on that?
Terry.
So the way I've heard, because I'm not a veteran, is that you go back and you resubmit your claim. And then when they call you in for a consultation, you speak to that. And I don't know, it's in the wording, but you can get from a dishonorable to an honorable, because what was dishonorable 100 years ago is not as dishonorable today.
Yeah, okay.
So it's just in the wording and doing your best to advocate for yourself. So go back and advocate for yourself. Don't just let it be a no and not be the final thing, because no is negotiable. It's not final.
Yeah.
It's negotiable.
Yeah.
So 1100 Wilshire, 3rd floor, or go back and tell them, 2nd floor, I'm sorry, and you want to reopen your case. We have a alumni brother, Wayne Newman, that works for the VA, and he helps a lot of brothers and a lot of veterans in reopening their cases. His name is Wayne Newman. I don't have his information. I don't even know if I should be telling y'all his name, but he's a good guy and he loves veterans. He's a veteran. And
Yeah.
he's a New Direction alumni, and he helps. He really does.
Yeah.
Yeah, but go back and advocate, because it's changed. It's changed.
Yeah. And that's always a big thing. Like veterans, I mean, I've encountered already more than 3 times where veterans want to have the benefits, but can't get them. And my heart's always broken, because especially if they're combat vets.
Right.
Because like you served your country, and now because of you talking back or whatever the heck,
Yeah. And then they want to dishonor. No, go back.
Yeah.
Go back and be your best advocate, because don't nobody know your story like you. You get to speak to it, especially the women with the military sexual trauma. I had a sister at New Directions. She broke down like a double barrel shotgun, and we lifted her up, literally walked in the 1100 Wilshire, and they were getting ready to record her with her statement. And she asked them, could we stand in there with her? We did. And she told her story.
Yeah.
She got the upgrade. She got everything she was supposed to get, but it was hell getting there.
Yeah.
And without support, she would have never did it.
Yeah.
Never did it. You know, so I believe in support is key. And all it takes is for somebody to have empathy for the next individual, willing to stand next to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can get past a whole bunch with some support.
Yeah. Thank you for what you do.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you, Terry. Thank you for the information. And Guadalupe, also, Kathy just put in the chat, she said that she doesn't have the info right now with her. However, she put in her email address. Are you able to write that down somewhere or take a picture, screenshot of her email address?
That's exactly what I'm gonna do right now. Let me look for it and screenshot it.
Thank you so much, Kathy. Thank you.
Kathy, do you mind writing it again? It can't, for some reason, it doesn't go back until I start it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. She just, is it okay for me to type in? I'm sorry. I just realized that she messaged me only. Is it okay that I'm sorry. I thought it was in everyone's chat.
We'll do,
I'm typing it right now.
Okay.
Can you see it? Oh, you know what? I'm so sorry. Why don't I just copy and paste it? I misspelled it. I'm just going to do it that way. Therefore, it's not right here.
Perfect. I see it. Okay.
This is support right here again. Yay.
Awesome. Thank you guys for the information. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Closed mouth don't get fed once again.
Thank you everyone for listening.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Have a good day, everybody.
I'm going to share the schedule for the next round, okay? It's right here.
Okay.
Uh-oh. And then, and also Terry puts out her, thank you, Terry. I'm going to write this down myself too. Her email address.
You're welcome. This was a good roundtable. Thank you so much.
Thank you all. Thank you all. Thank you all. Pack out something in the back. Yay! Double pack.
Awesome deal.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Nice. So no further ado, then I will adjourn this round table then. But you guys feel free to stay and talk, okay?